Think we're live. Hey everybody, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo, and I open it up to a super chat from Greg, 99 cents with a little dancing poop. Thank you so much. That's nice to come into. Wendy is also here. Figgy Flips, Nomad Glass, welcome in. I believe that's the notification that I'm live. See how delayed that is? Welcome in. If you're new to the channel, I am one half of a team. I do have a life and business partner. His name is Keith. He never gets on camera, so some folks think he's a myth, but I trust me, he's real. Together we both do this full time. This is our only job for each of us. I handle all of the YouTube and social media and the jeans and the plush. I list all of that on eBay. I mostly take care of our Poshmark with a little bit of help from him and our Macari, and he takes care of Amazon, Grailed, lists everything else on eBay, does our electronics local sales, and he lists and runs the Shopify wholesale website that we run with Casey, the Rockstar Flipper. And so you can tell we're super busy. We keep busy. We have lots of streams of income, multiple of them. And we work on them every single day. And that's how we both manage to do this full time. And this is a teaching channel. Again, if you're new, if you're not, you already knew this, but this is a teaching channel. So I do focus on teaching the best business practices, the do's and the don'ts, the best brands, the worst brands. I show you guys my mistakes. I tell you what not to do. I show you what I do wrong. I show you what I do right. And hopefully you can learn along the way with us and maybe avoid some of the pitfalls and mistakes. I do focus also on the reality of reselling. And every once in a while, I come in and give a dose of what I like to call tough love, where I get realistic real fast when I feel it's needed. And I usually feel it's needed when I see certain topics coming up over and over again on Instagram within the reselling community or Facebook groups where a lot of resellers gather around the water cooler to chat and talk shop. Just every once in a while, I see one or two topics that keep coming up, or attitudes, or things that are being said, and then it's time for me to come in and give tough love, because I do try to keep this channel very realistic and let you guys know the realities of reselling. I guess that's it. I'm a little bit funny along the way, I guess. A lot of it. I like to think I'm funny. I miss my true calling on stage. No, I'm kidding. Let me say hi to some more folks. Carrie Berry's mom is here. Jacqueline, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Red Willow Flips, Terry, Joanne, Kelly, Kara, Cannon Picking. Greg has hair, obviously. He left me some poop. Dave and Bill are here, guys. David and Bill are also partners in life and business. That is Gnome and the Frog. They're at the Blue Wrench, very good friends of ours. Thank you so much, Nomad Glass. That's nice to say. And Sheila and Georgia. And Jacqueline says, I truly appreciate your honesty. Thank you so much. I try. So I guess everyone can guess what tonight's Tough Love is about, because clearly some stuff is going on, and it's been going on all year. There's a lot happening this year in the current events. And I'm seeing a lot of people getting distracted. I'm seeing people get discouraged. I'm seeing people taking part in activities and behaviors that are going to be detrimental, not only to your business, but to you as a person. I have some notes for tonight, you guys, but I don't even, I can't. If you've been around for a long time, you guys know that before every video, whether it's a live or a pre-recorded video, I have clear and concise outlines. Well, not clear and concise. I have terrible handwriting and I scratch, but you know, I have what I want to talk about in the order I want to talk about, and it's laid out. And I almost came on tonight without any notes, and I was just gonna do stream of consciousness and talk with y'all and interact with you in the chat, which is my favorite thing to do. I love live videos because it's real time and I'm interacting with you. But then I thought I better write at least some of the things I've been thinking about. And these are things that have been on my mind a lot of the year, but mainly the last week. And so I just kind of scratched down some ideas, but this is probably not going to come out in any kind of way that is linear. But I guess I forgot to say that today is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. So if you're watching this on a replay in the future, today is November 10th, 2020, the year of the poop. Hey, welcome in, Colleen. Good to see you here, friend. I have learned so much and fell in love with Plush. Yes, the addiction is real, Kara. Plush are so fun. Okay, so 2020, as we all know, we talked about in last week's live show, a lot has happened this year. And that's going to affect not only online sales, but brick and mortar. It's going to affect the behaviors of buyers. When there's a lot going on, it can affect them negative or positively. If the economy is great and everybody's working, resellers are making money. If it's a good Q4, resellers are making money. Walmart's making money. Target's making money. And if the economy is bad for whatever reasons, if the stock market looks bad, that can have the adverse effect where people want to pull in their purse strings and not spend as much money. 2020 has kind of been a very weird year in that a lot of people are facing uncertainty as far as their jobs and their economics and their income. And a lot of people have been laid off or lost their jobs. A lot of people have been sent home and on unemployment. So there is a lot of uncertainty where you would think people would not be shopping. But at the same time that all of that is going on, people don't want to go out. Well, at first we couldn't, like everything was shut down. And then as things started to open, they opened kind of weird, where only a certain amount of people were allowed in the store. And I guess there's like two types of people, and there's probably more than two types. But what I'm seeing is there's the people that even after the shutdown and things started to open up, weren't yet comfortable enough to go out. They were still worried or concerned about the virus. And so they didn't really want to venture out any more than they had to. And so they resort to, curbside pickup and online shopping. And then there's the other side of folks that they don't like to follow the arrows. They don't want to wear the masks. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're, not going and fighting with people. There's been some people that have been doing some really on both sides. There's people that are pro and anti that are just being horrible human beings to each other. But I don't like to wear one, so I don't go out as much as I used to. And when I do, I wear one. A mask is what I'm referring to. But I would rather stay at home and shop. I'm a hermit. I'm a reclusive by nature. Even long before 2020, if you gave me the choice between going out in public around other human beings and shopping from home, I'm good. I could shop from home. I do like social events, though, which is weird because I am very reclusive. I am a hermit. But when I do make friends, I am very loyal, fiercely so, to my friends. Fiercely loyal. I love them. I love getting together with them. I love eBay Open. eBay Open was a great experience the 2 times I got to go. I like social events like that. Anyway, I'm digressing. So you got people who don't want to go out because they're concerned, or they just would rather not have to wait in line for 20 minutes to get their turn in Walmart, or to wait in line for half an hour to get their turn in the liquor store because they're only allowing so many people in. So people are shopping online. So while we have all that uncertainty in the economy and everybody is like, where's my next paycheck coming from? And you have all that stuff going on that would normally tank the online sales. I think we held on for most of 2020, and most of us did really well because folks weren't leaving their home. So one, they're shopping online because they can't or don't want to go get the stuff outside of the house. 2, they're shopping online because they're bored. They're at home. What else are they doing? They're not us. Like if you run a business and you're home and you're working, that's great. But if you're bored, you're searching, you're on your phone shopping while you're watching Netflix. And then the third thing, and I'm just going to say it, I think that at least 90% of people in America are very irresponsible with money. Is it their fault? Probably not. Think about our culture. Think about our society. Think about how we've all been brought up and the commercials we've seen growing up and the way we've seen all of the adults around us acting when we were children, teaching us that this is the way. I just sounded like the Mandalorian. This is not the way, but this is what you learn. You learn credit cards. You learn spending more than you make. You learn living above your means. It's just our society. It's just the way America is. If you've got 10 credit cards maxed out, you're going to get 12 more offers in the mail tomorrow. They want you to buy more than you can afford. They want you to do bigger, better, badder. They want you to put everything on credit, which is why I always tell people you should be following Dave Ramsey, because he's the anti-credit and debt person that we should all be listening to, who is very wise and can get you out of that cycle that we've all been taught. So I don't necessarily blame Americans for being the way they are. It's our society. It's the way we're brought up. It's what we see growing up. Commercials all the time. It's like we're immersed in this from birth to always have more than what we can afford with getting it by any means. And so most Americans are very irresponsible with their money, and they will spend beyond their means, and they will put things on credit, and they go extremely extra crazy around the holidays, and they max out. I have known people that have taken out second mortgages just to have a nice Christmas. They literally took out second mortgages on their homes so that they could buy extravagant gifts and extravagant meals and have extravagant gatherings in their home. And this is just the way Americans are. So with everything uncertain this year, you still got people who get that stimulus check. Or remember when everybody was getting the extra unemployment, they weren't really saving it or putting it towards their bills. They were spending it. They were being unwise with their money. That's America for you. If you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, Google him after the show. If you do know who he is, get your butt in gear. Follow his advice. Don't be these people. So I guess 2020 has just been a year that has tested all of us, is what I'm trying to say. There has been so much going on. And the economy being uncertain is scary for people who have a small business. It's scary for people who own their own small business. It's probably a lot scarier for folks with brick and mortars right now because of the shutdown, and there's probably going to be another shutdown. For us, we are at least lucky. As long as we have inventory, we can work from home and we can sell online, and we should be okay. Do I think Q4 is going to get better? I do. I think the election was a big distraction for a lot of folks, and I think they're coming back. And I'm saying this because I noticed our sales start upticking Saturday afternoon, and they've been pretty good since then. So that's behind us, and then we're coming into the holidays, and we should be seeing a second stimulus. We would hope that now that the elections, there's still some stuff going on with the election. I'm not going to talk about politics on this channel, but I feel like they're going to push the second stimulus through soon. And again, with America being the way it is, and Americans not being responsible with their money, they're going to get a second stimulus with a month till Christmas or a couple weeks till Christmas, and they're not going to be responsible with it, guys. They're going to go shopping. And people still don't want to leave their house. People are still concerned. There's still states where the numbers of cases are climbing. Our state's one of them, Pennsylvania. So people might just be deciding to buckle down and shop from home. And I have been seeing commercials for weeks now from like Target and Walmart. They're going to be doing their Black Friday sales all the month of November. So they're not just waiting for the day after Thanksgiving. The sales are going on all month, and any sale that you can get in the store, you can get online. So people are going to be online shopping. No one's waiting for Black Friday this year. It's just a very different year. The tropical storm and the hurricane thing, it's nuts. I just saw an article my friend Donna shared that said this has been the most active year for tropical storms and hurricanes. 2020 is the year that just keeps on giving, isn't it? All right. So what I want to talk to you guys about as far as the distractions and the emotions and the stress taking a toll on your businesses, which is why we're here today for the tough love. I want to read the chat real quick. Let me catch up on the chat. Bill and Dave say, thank you for introducing us to Dave Ramsey. Yeah, Dave Ramsey is pretty amazeballs. Figgy Folds has more expensive plush. There are several states and cities still closed. There's some that are talking about backtracking. Yeah, I'm pretty good being a hermit. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. I didn't mean funny. I'm reading and talking. Pretty great. Like I said, I have my friends and I'm fiercely loyal to them and I absolutely love them with everything in me. But even my friends would tell you they actually would see me in normal times, like once or twice a year, if that, like in a social setting. I am just a homebody. I like small gatherings, I guess. I hate people, but I love social gatherings. I heard that somewhere once. Student loans, yes, that's another thing that America pushes on everybody. Dave Ramsey is like a miracle worker. I don't know what hand gesture I made when I was trying to say Google, but I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I know I make funny faces and stuff. Okay. USPS rates are scary. Well, they're really not because they only went up a quarter for us on eBay. So just raise your prices a quarter. I mean, that's all you can do. You pass it on to your buyer. And if you think Walmart doesn't do that or other businesses don't do that, that's what happens. Well, there's actually, hello, welcome in. Swimmerization mentions the passing of Alex Trebek this weekend. There's been a lot of celebrity, very sad deaths. We've lost a lot of really good people this year. Sean Connery, the actor that played Black Panther, and I'm such an asshole for not remembering his name. And yeah, I swore because I'm a jerk. I should remember his name. He was a pretty amazing person. He actually had cancer and didn't tell anybody and kept making the movies. And then he would go to cancer wards with kids and let them meet Black Panther. And he did a lot of really amazing things for a lot of charities. And he was just a really good person. And no one even knew he was sick. He was pretty amazing. Somebody check Betty White, right? Colleen is also a homebody. Yeah. I like to just buy all my stuff online too. I personally love Amazon and the fact that it lets you put in different addresses. You know, on eBay, they frown on that. On Amazon, I can go on and buy 10 different gifts for 10 different friends and put in 10 different addresses and have them just shipped to them. And they let you include a little note if you didn't know. So I could say, Dear Colleen, Merry Christmas, love Star and Keith, and she'll know it was from us. Yes, Megan, that's a good idea too. Just keep your eyes open when you're out, about, or online all year long. If you throw pens, no. If you see stuff you think someone would like, you can just pack rat it. Just don't forget where you hide it. I used to, when my kids were really little, hide stuff all over the house and in February and March, early summer. Christmas would roll around and I couldn't remember where I put stuff. We don't use cubic shipping because most of what we sell is first class clothing and plush or remote controls. So we just ship from eBay. And then anything I do use pirate ship for, it's usually plush on Macari. So I didn't notice. Sorry. Kobe Bryant. Yes. Chadwick Boseman. Thank you so much, Kelly. And I am such a jerk. Someone can actually take my nerd card away from me for a couple days and put me in timeout. A HUD sale. I have not seen Q4 increase, but it does look like we are paying more fees. The fees didn't go up. If anything, I've actually noticed they went down when we got switched over because between PayPal and eBay. If they go up, it's because you're making more money or you're selling more. Just double check all your books and stuff. But we did notice it was about Saturday afternoon. Stuff started coming in. We have been getting a lot of really low offers on stuff, like half off. We're already getting it's Christmas and you're going to ruin Christmas for my kid and my 5 dogs and 6 elephants in the backyard all have cancer. Can I please have this leather coat for half off? I don't think this leather coat's going to help your sick elephants, lady. Oh, that's so sorry. I'm sorry, Megan. Sorry to hear that. All right. So I need to give you guys your tough love. I still haven't gotten that far yet. I told you, stream of consciousness tonight, kind of like going all over. We all know everything that has been happening this year. We know. We don't have to get into it on this channel. We don't talk politics. We all know the current climate. We all know the current events. We know what happened over the summer with the wildfires, the riots, the looting. We know all of the current events and the stress and everything going on in the world. What we don't need to do is spend hours of our time on these events, because you sitting glued to the news or to your Facebook for 6 hours a day doesn't make any of that stuff better. It doesn't make any of it stop or go away. But what it does stop is your business. What it does make go away is your sales, your bottom line, and your overall productivity. If your overall productivity goes down, you're going to lower the level of the serotonin and the dopamines in your brain. Being active, having a routine, feeling successful, crossing things off your to-do list, reaching goals every day, even if sales are slow, if you get through a death pile, if you get through your to-do list, if you get through a session of photography, if you clean your bathroom after you promised yourself you were going to clean the bathroom today, any of these things that you cross off your list that you do every single day that is a success for you, no matter how big or small, those increase all those good things in your brain that make you feel good about yourself. Every success, it doesn't matter how small it is. If you promise yourself that you're going to go through a pile of handbags and you keep putting it off, you're going to feel like crap because you're avoiding it. The minute you get through those handbags, that pile, that stack, whether you got them listed or not, just the fact if you get them photographed, ready to go, and organized into your system of inventory, that's enough to set those things off in your brain to make you feel good. So why waste time stressing yourself out, getting overly emotional, getting upset, watching the same news people repeat the same story in 7 different ways when you could be doing something productive? And we're all guilty of this, even me. Election day, I was worthless. I did no work. I did a live show that night. I did pre-record like 3 or 4 videos. That is not a productive day for me. I mean, typically if I'm going to have a day of filming, I'm pre-recording 5 or 6 videos in addition to a live show, in addition to a session of photography, in addition to listing and cross-posting and cleaning. No, I voted, I pre-recorded, I got on the news, and I was hooked. And I sat there until almost 3 o'clock in the morning, just watching. And that's why I'm saying it's such a waste of time, because when I look back on it, the fact that I stayed up all night watching it didn't change anything, didn't change the outcome. I saw the same people repeating the same thing over and over for hours on end. And all it did to me was make me tired and make me do less work than I normally do. That didn't help me or my business at all. It didn't help the world. It didn't change anything. You know, being distracted and not being able to turn it off and step away helps nobody, helps nothing, because now you've done something that didn't change the world, but you sure as hell changed your own life, because every time you waste time watching the news, you are not working. You are not doing something productive. You are not playing a board game with your kids, spending time with your husband or your family or your friends. You're wasting all of this time on these things that bring negative energy into your life and make you stress and make you sad and make you upset. This isn't just for the news either, Terry. This is for the folks that want to scroll on Facebook all day. This is for the folks that want to get on Facebook and read everything that they disagree with so they can get upset at the other side, so they can get into arguments with strangers on the internet. Because guess what? You're never going to change their mind either. But you're not doing anyone any good except, I guess, the ratings. Or if you're watching the stuff on YouTube like I do, you're giving them views and counts. I would normally tell you, if you really feel like you need to stay in touch with current events, to at least have it running in the background while you're working instead of being glued to it. But at this juncture in 2020, unless you live in an area where you need to have the weather on because you're watching the hurricanes, I think you just need to turn it off and walk away. You just need to turn it off and walk away. And that includes the social medias. Not the ones you do for your business. If you go on Instagram and you're in the reseller community and you're talking shop and you're sharing your YouTube videos, or you're putting stuff out for sale, or you're learning stuff, or you're going through the people you follow to get some tips and tricks, that's okay. Don't go on Facebook and scroll through all of the funny Biden and Trump memes all day and look for the good ones and the photographs. And don't get into arguments with people. I just can't stress it enough. All of this stuff that you guys are doing that is not working, and this is me included, I wasted a whole day. You're stressing yourself out. You're possibly affecting your sleep. You're definitely affecting your mental health. And you may even be affecting your eating habits, because there's people out there who will forget to eat if they get busy. There's people who won't eat if they are upset, or eat more. Guess what? If you're parked in front of the news and eating a bag of chips, that's not healthy. Eating more snacks or stress eating. There are just people doing crazy stuff. Stress eating, stress shopping, stress yelling, stress arguing. All of this stress doesn't have to be there. At the end of the day, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. If you're not out on the front lines fighting the virus, if you're not in the buildings counting the ballots, if you're not in the laboratory helping create the vaccine, if you're not in the politicians' area lobbying for civil rights, if you're not doing actual things that are going to create things or events or laws or anything that's going to change the world, you probably need to just step away. Turn it off and step away. By all means, if you really want to change the world, if you want to have a different outcome, there's tons of ways to do it. There's tons of ways to get involved locally in your community. On a national level, you can get involved politically and socially. You can start groups. You can join other folks. You can peacefully protest. You can do tons of things to change the world. But sitting in front of your TV shouting what you feel, going on Facebook and starting arguments with perfect strangers, that is not going to change anything except your bottom line, because you're not listing. You're not selling anything if you're not listing. And if you aren't being productive, you aren't creating those chemicals in your brain that make you feel good about yourself. So now you just feel like crap all around, because now you know the world sucks. You know 2020 is the year of the poop. You feel bad because you're still in pajamas on day 3 with your hair in a bun and you haven't washed and you haven't done anything. And I'm not saying that all of you are that bad. I'm giving you the most extreme example. But, arguing with someone that's on the other side of an issue that is a stranger accomplishes nothing. And I see so many fights on Facebook right now. In fact, over the last 3 days, between Casey, Keith, and myself, we have booted over 40 people out of Casey's Facebook group because they can't follow the rules. No politics, no religion. And they just keep arguing. They cannot control themselves. Little basement warriors, little trolls. They just keep going and going and going. And they get multiple warnings from multiple moderators and admins. And they keep arguing. We have kicked out probably over 50 people. And then they want to message you and apologize. I know I was wrong. I know I broke the rules. Well, if you broke the rules, I don't know what to tell you. My point was, tons of people are arguing on Facebook, and you're not going to change anyone's mind. You're not. You're probably not going to change your dad's mind or your mom or your kid or your husband or your best friend. Why do you think you're going to change a stranger's? Why do you think entering into an argument with someone that doesn't even know you or give one flying rat's ass about who you are as a person is going to change anything? You're not. Especially when it comes to politics and religion. Those are like two no-nos. And you guys know, if you're in my Facebook group, the rules state very clearly that is a one-way ticket out. You won't even get a warning. At least in Casey's group, he has us give warnings. He's a little bit more lenient. In my group, if you do politics or religion, you're out, and you will not be allowed back in. Anyway, arguing with people, watching the news, all of these things, at the end of the day, does nothing for anyone. You haven't changed the world. You haven't done anything good. You haven't built your business. You haven't added a new platform to list on that day. You haven't read a clothing guide. You haven't watched YouTube to learn. And then in addition to that, above and beyond your business, what about you? You personally, your mental health, your family, and your friends? Are you neglecting them as well? And who's paying your bills? Because I know the people down at Fox that sit at that news anchor desk. If I, spend my time watching them instead of working, they're not going to pay my bills for me. They're not going to make up the lost income if I'm not listing. They're not going to help me out at the grocery store when I'm like, well, I usually sell more every week. I feel bad spending this much on food. Let me call the Fox anchor. Hey, I wasted all week watching you and I didn't list anything. So do you think you could come up here and pay my grocery bill for me? No. And the people that argue with you on Facebook don't care. They don't care. And you're not going to change anybody's mind, no matter how right or wrong either one of you think you are. And it doesn't matter. You could say, I think elephants are the best animal, change my mind, and I'm going to be like, hippos are the best animal, change my mind, and we're not going to change each other's minds. We're just not. I'm going to catch up on the comments. If you guys have any comments or questions or concerns that you want to add to the live chat, put it in. I'm going to start reading through and interacting with you guys and answering some questions before I go. The sob stories have been running rampant. Oh my gosh, already so soon. So soon. So soon. I'm just going to start writing people back. No, I'm not. That's unprofessional. That's not good advice. I was going to say something very snarky like, I'm sorry to hear about your unfortunate situation. Unfortunately, I have 15 dogs all dying and starving to death, and I need to sell this at the full price, but that's not good advice. Counter with 10% off and a thank you for your interest in this item, and go on with your day. We had someone that wanted a bread machine and told me the price was too high. They only get paid. So it's your fault that they only get paid once a month. And it's your fault that they want to purchase something beyond their means. That's what blows my mind. I've had so many people in the past tell me I ruined their kids' Christmas. And I'm like, but I'm not the one who's trying to buy stuff I can't afford. I'm not the one that ruined your kids. You can't go into Walmart and tell them, this year's hot toy that's $100. I want it for $50. And if you don't give it to me for $50, you ruin my kids. That's just not how it works. It's not your fault that this person gets paid once a month. Jamie Brown, Star will straighten her ass stuff for sure. So here's some real talk from David and Bill. I fell into that trap last week for about 3 days. Hurt our business big time. Yeah, I lost a lot of Tuesday. I would tell you I lost a lot of Wednesday, but it wasn't necessarily all because of the news. We had a lot of errands to run Wednesday. We had to do grocery shopping. We took a load of wholesale stuff to the laundromat with the big washers and dryers so we could do it all at once real quick. And we were pretty busy all day, and we sleep in. You guys know that. So by the time we got back, we went out for lunch. By the time we got back, it was already like 5 o'clock at night. And I did a little bit of work, and then I farted around and got back on the news. So like normally, if I got home at 5 from a full day of being out of the house, I would put in another 6 to 7 hours of work. but I didn't. So I'm guilty of it too. And went back in March, I'm guilty as well. When the shutdown first happened and everything was going on, excuse me while I fix my hair. When everything was going on in the world, I got like really wrapped up in it, and I had to learn everything I could about that's horrible, the virus. And I got really wrapped up in seeing what was going on in other countries and seeing what was going on around this piece of hair, what was going on around the world. And I got sucked into Tiger King. I got sucked into that Best Fiends game that came out in March. That was good timing for them, though. What great advertising for that game. Came right around shutdown, and they were advertising on like every podcast I listened to. I'm going to just cut my hair off or just stop messing with it. So yeah, back at the beginning of the quarantine, I was glued to the news. I had like they had on YouTube a map of the United States that had these little dots. I don't know if you guys remember this map, and it showed you how many cases we had and how many people were dying and how many people were recovered. And it was like a live up-to-date map, and it kept updating, and it had like this really eerie, like Armageddon music to it. I kept checking it. I would literally list one thing and check the map. And I'd be like, got to stop and go to work. So I'd list like 2 things, and then I'd check the map. And I would get so mad at myself because I know better. This is exactly what I tell you guys not to do. But we're all guilty of it, because when big things happen in the world that impact us, it is hard to step away. I understand that. I'm guilty of it too. It's hard not to watch it and look at it. But at the end of the day, guys, we don't get up and go to a job where we clock in at 9 a.m. and clock out at 5 p.m. and get a paycheck every week regardless. We just don't. We do not go to a job where we can clock in, clock out, and get a check and then come home and waste all of our time in front of the TV. We have to be grinding and hustling and doing the work and putting it in every single day. We don't have that luxury of a guaranteed paycheck. We make what we put in, period. So, and I understand it's hard though, because these big things happen. Like when I hear about hurricanes, I have tons of friends down in Florida, not just Casey, but I have friends down in Miami area, which is where a lot of them impact. And I can't help it. I get so anxious. Like I just want to keep checking the freaking maps with the hurricanes. I want to keep messaging my friends and making sure everybody's okay. It's human. It's human nature. What you have to learn is how to overcome it. You have to learn to recognize when you're doing it and to stop it and to overcome it. And one of the best ways to do that is to have a good, solid routine in place. I talk about that every single day to you guys, a good, solid routine. Because once you have a good routine, you can kind of go on autopilot. You just get up and do your thing. I usually fall off of the routine around lunchtime. It's anytime I have a minute to myself. So when I wake up, I have a solid routine in place in the morning. I've talked about it here before. Get coffee, do the unsolds. You know, I end things and then sell similar. I do all these things in the morning in a certain order. Then we do the shipping, and then we get back and we have lunch. And that's usually what I'm like, well, let me just see what's going on. And then it's just an election day. I don't think any of us was very productive that day, right? The quarantine Cuomo was very bad. Lots of time wasted this week. But Colleen listened while she worked. Jamie says, you're right, Star. We shouldn't let all these world events burn us out, and I have been guilty of it too. Yeah, it's such a time waster and a time suck. But it's also detrimental in so many ways, because, again, we don't get a paycheck. So if we're not working, we're not making money. That's detrimental. Detriment number 1. Detriment number 2 is your mental health and your stress. It is not good for your body to be stressed out. It causes insomnia. It causes heart conditions. It causes high blood pressure. It causes aneurysms and strokes. It's not good to be stressed out, you know. It's okay to say, look, the world right now is having X, Y, and Z go on, and certain people are being affected by that, but I don't have to be. I can take a day and just not be affected by it and just live my life. It's okay to do that. Bill got to the point where I had to shut everything off, left my cell phone at home, and took a walk. Yep. That's a good way to clear your head and to get back into the zone, is going for a walk. I'm a big proponent of going. If you like to run, you can run. I don't run. Listen, if you all ever see me running, y'all better turn around and run too, because something really big and bad's chasing me. But yeah, I love to go for walks. I'm a huge proponent of those because they clear your head. You get fresh air and sunshine and vitamin D and all that good stuff. And if you leave your cell phone at home and you're just walking, whether you're with your partner or by yourself, you can kind of let your mind wander away from everything. And it's kind of like a Zen centralizing your thought process. So if you can step away from the news and go for a walk, you can, right now here, you can crunch through the leaves and look at the leaves changing and feel the air. And actually it's been in the high 70s, almost 80 here the last few days. So it's been really nice. We've been going for a lot of walks, and all that fresh air and vitamin D is, especially if you're a hermit or a recluse, guys, you guys got to go outside and get some fresh air and sunshine. Even I go out for that every day. But I think you almost recharge your batteries if you're outside and you're walking. It's much different than being on a treadmill at the gym. You're just in nature. You might see your neighbors and say hi, and they say interacting with other humans helps those chemicals in your brain. But for me, my brain will wander. And so it's a good time for me to refocus. Like, I'm away from the news. Now, what did I want to? Oh, today I wanted to measure that pile of jeans, and I wanted to list all my plush. Oh, I should get back on that when I get home. It almost allows your brain to reset itself. I think any exercise is good, though, because it does release those good chemicals. They make you feel good. Jamie says, truth, I have never ever seen anyone change anyone else's mind by fighting with them on the internet. Put that in all caps and bold and put it on a big sign in Times Square in New York, man. Colleen says, I had a lot of sales Wednesday and it was stress shopping. Probably. Terry enjoys Christmas music, and that's helping her. Oh, you know what? That actually reminds me. I have actually been listening to more music lately than normal. I had thought it's on my list. I was going to tell you about it. It's right here. Typically when I'm working, cooking, cleaning, doing dishes, anything like that, I'm either watching a show on Netflix or Hulu, something that you don't have to pay attention to. I never, ever try to work. Do I see my baby Yoda? I never try to work and have a show on that you have to pay attention to. So shows that I really enjoy watching, like The Mandalorian, American Horror Story, just to name a few, I save those for our date nights and movie nights. So I can sit down and relax and watch them. But there's a lot of shows you could just kind of like let run in the background. It's either that or podcasts on true crime and serial killers. But just with the commercials that have been coming on and ads and stuff, it's still like a little bit too much of the real world for me. So I've been, for a couple weeks right before the election, I found a station on iHeartRadio, which is way different than Pandora. If you don't use iHeartRadio, sorry. But they had a Halloween station that played a lot of really fun music. And now I found a station called It Smells Like the 90s, and they play all the alternative 90s music. And I've actually been listening to that more than podcasts or TV shows, just because it's more of a way to escape. You can dance while you cook, and we call it kitchen dancing. But everyone's different. Just find whatever helps you, get in your groove. And for me, it always was podcasts and shows, but I sometimes just feel like I need to really check out, and music is a way to do that, but still work and be productive. Selling plush makes me happy. Yes, I love selling plush. They're just so cute. I don't know. There's something soothing about, but see, I find jeans soothing as well because of my OCD. So music helps my mood in general. Oh, I just lost my place. Are those cats? Those are rats. I love rats. I like rodents. Those are little rats. Yeah, exactly, junk trader. None of these politicians, none of these news anchors, none of these actors on SNL doing their nice little skits, none of these people are going to pay our bills or buy our groceries. They're certainly not going to come over and list the things that you didn't. If you let your piles build up and your work get behind, I really don't see Kamala Harris coming to your house and taking photos of jeans for you. So, you got to do the work. No one else is going to do it for you. So don't waste your time on people who aren't going to spend time on you. That is a good thing to say. Can I say it again? Can I repeat that? Don't waste your time on people who aren't going to spend time on you. That goes for everybody, even people you actually know that, like, in real life. Yep, those buyers are almost always the ones that cause the biggest problems. Jacqueline, I fell for it. This lady emailed me for the 2 dinosaur toys I had, saying how much our son would love them, but she didn't have the money. Oh man, don't fall for it. They literally, they have Facebook groups and YouTube channels that teach people what to say and how to say it. And they just copy paste the same sob story in 50 to 100 different offers to 50 to 100 different sellers just to see who will bite. And I've also heard, and I hope it's not true because it would really suck if it were true, I heard that there's some resellers who do that to try to get free or very cheap things to flip. Aw, thank you so much, Tess Das. She says I'm her favorite YouTuber. She must like amateur hour. I'm a single mom and I felt that. Yeah, it's easy to get suckered in when you're new. You get a little bit hardened. That's not a good choice of words, but you get to where you don't fall for it. And you don't feel bad for not falling for it. And part of that is having that information. There's Facebook groups and YouTube channels that teach people what the best sob stories are, how to say them, what time of the year to use them. And then they just copy and paste each other, these stories, their copy pastas that they just send out to a ton of buyers, sellers to see who will bite. Once you have that information, I mean, maybe 1 out of every 100 is actually true. Maybe 1 out of every 100 actually is a real sob story. But the other 99 are these practice scripts that are taught to people that they've learned how to use. And so I don't feel bad for not falling for it because you're an actor. I don't care. You're not getting my stuff cheap. And thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat from Bill and David, my good friends over on the other side of the state, with a little pear. Is that a little pear with a little aerobic hat on? He's cute. Headband. If someone gave me a story about how I should accept their offer so they can live above their means, it's yes, and that's the other thing. So even the ones that are real, that they're not faking just to try to get your you to feel sorry for them, they're trying to buy something they can't afford. I mean, Dave Ramsey says we shouldn't do that, right? Dave Ramsey says only to buy things that you can afford. Live within your means. In fact, live below your means. Live well below your means so that you have money saved up, so that you have a savings, so that you have money on hand. So if they're trying to buy something that they can't afford, that's not my problem. I'm not here to market to the cheapest buyer. I'm here with things that have a value, and folks who can afford them, that know their value, will buy them. And then I might have stuff a little bit cheaper for folks who can afford that. So just saying. Hey, Game Changer, welcome in. Resale rejects. Had to take social media off my phone. That is a really good idea. If you absolutely, and there's no judgment coming from me in this statement, no judgment at all, because addiction can be very real, and even with social media, no judgment. But if you absolutely cannot find the self-control within yourself to put the phone down, to walk away, to stop checking your notifications, to stop looking at Facebook, just take them off your phone. Take them off your phone and don't go to them on your computer, and put them back on when you feel like you've regained some of your self-control. There's, an impulse when it's right here at the tip of your fingers. So you might want to just take it off. I passed the planners in Walmart today and thought, Star wants us to have one. Yes, I want everyone. Even if you don't want to use a traditional planner or a hardback journal or something fancy, I want everyone to have a piece of paper. I want everyone to have notebooks by their desk or by wherever they work. I want you guys to be writing stuff down. Anne Gregory, you're very welcome. She says, thanks, I needed this reminder. I didn't buy one in person as my job wasn't going to be in person. You could start one anytime. That's why I like the bullet journal, and I could start like a new one at any time I want in a blank journal. Exactly, Kim. It's a train wreck. It's hard not to peek at these things, right? Carrie Berry's mom works as a registrar of voters. Oh my God, I bet you're stressed to high heaven. You need to do some self-care, girlfriend. You need to take care of yourself. You need to get a glass of wine and a good book or a good movie, whatever you need to do to de-stress. But I absolutely advise you to do some self-pampering. That has got to be the most stressful thing. Georgia says, I walk 4 miles every morning and it really gets my day going. Yeah, some folks like to do it in the morning. Keith and I have like this whole morning routine that we've already got in place that kind of runs on autopilot. We like to go right after dinner. That's just like our time. Some people like to go at lunchtime. Bill and David, you guys go like right after lunchtime, right? In the middle of the day. But find your groove. Find your groove. Find when the weather's the best. The air's the best, you're the best, you that you want to be, because everybody has like a certain time of the day where they're better. But walks definitely are amazing, you guys. They really get your juices flowing in your brain. When I used to work as a content creator, a paid writer for websites from home, whenever I had writer's block or I got stuck, I would go for a walk. Have I ever had any Microsoft plushies? Plushies, first of all, Caffeinated Christie, are never off subject on this channel. Ever. Plushies are always on topic. But no, I have not. I have sold the World of Warcraft one, though. I usually let my iTunes run amok. I have days and days of good tunes. Yes. And if you like the music you're listening to and you start wiggling and dancing, that's a form of exercise. Now you're releasing good chemicals into your brain. You're avoiding the news, and you're moving, and you're exercising, and you're being healthy. Martha P., fast question. I never shipped out of the country before. I turn on global shipping when I print the USPS first class label. I'm reading very fast, sorry. It's only $5, but the item value doubled. Is this normal? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that. I know that they pay extra fees on top of what we see because we're only seeing the label to Kentucky, and then they pay customs and international shipping and all kinds of stuff on top of it. And it could be the global shipping people are putting a bigger value on the item because it's going international. If you have questions, I would ask Facebook for Business on eBay I was about to say Facebook for Business on eBay. Go to eBay for Business on Facebook and send them a private message just to double check. Yeah, plushies do take up a lot of space. That's like one of their cons for sure. The comments, I was so far behind on the comments. The rats were for when I said rat's ass. I thought you were just sending me some rats because, you know, I like rodents. Yep. Kim is absolutely right. They just want their taxes. They're not going to come do your job for you. Maybe a Nigerian prince will share his lottery money. So Jamie says, it's not like you have a store that only has items for $100 or more. You sell many reasonable items. Yes. I have plush that are $10 that I'll take a $7 or $8 best offer on because I picked them up for a quarter at a yard sale. But I have plush that are going for $80, $90 because they're a ginormous plush or a Disney store or something that has value. I have new with tags clothing that's Bolo luxury brands. It's worth $80. But I have t-shirts for $12. If you are going to be trying to buy above your means, that is not my problem. I'm not here to hold everybody in the world's hand and help them budget their money better. My stuff has a value. You can either afford it or you can't. You cannot walk into any brick and mortar store in this world and barter. The fact that we even have best offer on and we're willing to go down 20, 25%, to me, it should be good enough. You know, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be shopping for it. You should be listening to Dave Ramsey. Dave and Bill usually go on their walk between 1 and 3. I know you guys walked in the afternoons. We always go at night. We may even go because it's been so warm here. It's like 8 o'clock at night and it's dark, but I'm going to see what the weather's like. It's still 70 degrees out. So Keith and I will probably go for a walk right after I end this live show. The Connectimals leopard. Yes, he is worth money. He is worth money, Christy. Hold out for him. Put him what he's worth. Like list him for like 25. So you have wiggle room. Make sure you have good pictures. All right, guys, we're about 4 minutes away from 8 o'clock, which means I've had you for almost an hour. I need to go for a walk and get my own chemicals moving in my brain and get some more work done tonight before I can take off. So thank you so much for the super chats from Greg and Bill and David tonight. I really appreciate it. Everyone else, thank you so much for showing up, spending an hour with me, hanging out, listening to me rant, give you guys some tough love. And thank you for participating. I love the participation in the chat. Like I said, live shows are my favorite because it's real time. I get to interact with you guys. So thank you so much for showing up, interacting, participating in the chat. But if you're watching this in a replay, you can always leave a comment down below. I do respond. I get really super behind on them, but I do respond to every single comment that people leave on my videos. So if you're watching this later, you have something to say it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. It really helps the channel so much. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for that, Nomad Glass. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Join our Facebook group if you haven't. Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. And go be productive, guys. Be productive. Turn the news off. Put the social media down. Do something for yourself in your own future, your own business, and your family. Because the payoff for that will be far better than just vegging out in front of the news. So go be productive. Go make some money. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me tonight. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Bye.